A lot of people think that you have to be right to stack silver, right about the price, right about the timing, but silver doesn't reward people for being right. It rewards people for being consistent. Good morning, it's today again. Welcome back to Joseph's Reserves. I'm Joseph, and I store 20% of my income in the form of rare coins and precious metals. Today, I want to show you why dollar cost averaging silver works, using what I bought last week and what I bought this week. Congratulations to Noob Coin Nerd for being the first comment in my last video. Find him down in the comments to start a conversation with him. Dollar cost averaging sounds complicated, but it's actually very simple. It just means that you buy on a schedule, not based on emotion, not based on headlines, not based on whether silver feels cheap or expensive that week. You pick a rhythm and you stick to it. Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever fits your life. The key is this: you show up whether the price is up, down, or sideways. That's important because most people don't fail at stacking due to the price. They fail at stacking because they stop showing up. Silver is volatile. We all know that. It moves fast. It can spike. It can pull back just as hard. That volatility tricks people into thinking they need to time it perfectly. They'll say, I'll wait for a dip. I'll buy next week. Or I missed it, it's too late, I'll just buy another time. And usually what happens is that they end up buying less silver or none at all. Dollar cost averaging removes that mental load. You're no longer asking, is this the perfect time to buy? It simply comes down to, is today the day you scheduled a purchase? Let me show you exactly what I mean. This is my purchase from last week. 21 1/10 ounce silver Britannias and a dollar face in dimes. And we're going to compare that to my purchase this week. It was 12 1/10 ounce Britannias, a dollar face in quarters, and a 3/4 ounce Canadian coin. These two purchases were on different days, different prices, but it was the same plan. I didn't try to outsmart the market. I didn't wait for a confirmation. I didn't panic buy or panic stop. I just followed the schedule, and over time what happens is your average cost smooths out. You won't always get the best price, but you'll avoid the worst mistakes. And most importantly, you'll keep stacking instead of just waiting for the market to come down. So here I have my receipt from yesterday's purchase. I spent $200, and last week I spent $197.87. So you see this purchase averaged out to $75.62, and over the last 2 weeks, the dollar cost average became $72.89. I also have a section down here for the junk, since I'm going to be buying a dollar face every single week. And I just realized I added these up without actually calculating the average. So give me 1 second here. There we go. So my average across the 2 weeks is $49.38 per, actually it's supposed to be dollar face value. There we go. $49.38 per dollar face value, which is much different than per ounce. And we'll go ahead and start putting these away. I now have 56 of these 1/10 ounce Britannias, so that's pretty awesome. I have them just all in this bag with my fractional silver. And I'm going to go ahead and display all of these $1 face values that I'm getting each week. So as a reminder, every week I'm buying $1 in face value. I'm rotating between dimes, quarters, half dollars, and a silver dollar. So the first week of the month is going to be dimes, second, quarters, third, halves, and fourth, a silver dollar. Since I buy every Thursday, and yesterday was the second Thursday this month, that's why I bought quarters. Let's take a quick look at what I did buy. I actually found these 3 barber quarters that I need for my date run, and a really good condition first year Washington quarter. So soon I'll pull out the albums and get them plugged into their holes. But I also did buy this 3/4 ounce silver Canadian coin. This is a animal portrait series that I believe they started in 2017. It's a really beautiful reverse proof design, and I don't know, I just love seeing animals on coins, I guess. But I'm really excited about this series. I'm curious if I'm going to be able to complete the whole date run. I mean, there's not very many out there, so it's very possible. 3/4 of an ounce of silver is a very interesting fractional size, and I just kind of like it, to be honest. All right, let's go ahead and get these quarters into their books. I know my channel is mostly about stacking, but honestly, what I'm really excited about is the collecting side. I say that I stack collections. I just have multiple collections that all form into a massive stack. Pretty much, I try my best to look for these semi-numismatic pieces or somewhat very small numismatic pieces that are at the same cost as any other silver. That way I can be slightly higher valued than just generic or just junk. If I can get a full date run of Washington quarters for the same price that I would at regular junk prices, then why not do that? It's a way that drives me into continuing to buy Washington quarters instead of something else. In addition, these numismatic pieces tie the silver back to the history. This is a perfect example. These Barber quarters are from the late 1800s. Since I started collecting these coins, I've been a lot more drawn to the history of the United States, the history of my family, and just history in general. Think about it. How many people do you think would have touched this quarter? Or what do you think this quarter could have bought when it was first made in the 1890s? Another example is the next coin is in 1898. And I recently learned that my great-grandmother actually immigrated from Sweden to the United States in this year, 1898. Now, she didn't live in this area of the country, and there's no guarantee that this coin traveled all the way across the nation. But it is still also super interesting to see a date that reminds me of my past family and the possibility that she could have possibly touched this or any of these coins when she first got here. Another thing is that all of these coins were minted in New Orleans. Now, before I started collecting, I didn't even know there was a New Orleans mint. So there's a whole lot of history to the mint at New Orleans, especially during the Civil War. Super interesting stuff. If you don't know it, make sure you go and look it up and learn what I'm talking about. That could be a topic for a whole other video. But as far as today goes, I'm just going to pull out my quarters and replace these 3 on my display, and that'll be it. So if you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you answer some questions down in the comments. Talk to people you do know or don't. But most of all, thank you so much for watching. And just remember, every ounce adds up. So no matter how small, just keep stacking.